Today on Sugar Spun Run, we are making Dulce De Leche cheesecake brownies. Hey Sugar Spun Bakers, Sam here, and today I am so excited to be sharing another carefully tested, well-researched, and perfected recipe. We are combining some of my favorite desserts, fudgy, chocolatey brownies, rich cheesecake, and dulce de leche. The first thing you want to do is preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and we'll get started by making our brownie batter. In a large bowl, combine 12 tablespoons of unsalted butter. I have mine cut into tablespoon-sized pieces just so it melts a little easier, and 1/2 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. We'll pop these in the microwave and heat them in about 20-second increments, stirring in between until the chocolate and butter are completely melted and the mixture is nice and smooth. Next, add a 1/2 cup of natural cocoa powder and stir everything together until it's nice and well combined. I like to add the cocoa powder here while the butter and chocolate are a little bit warm because it helps to bloom the cocoa a little bit, which really helps develop that chocolate flavor. If you'd like, you can enhance the flavor even further here by adding a pinch of instant coffee. Next, we'll add 3/4 cup each of granulated sugar and firmly packed light brown sugar. Stir these in until everything is nice and smooth. The next thing you need is 2 large eggs plus 1 large egg yolk. Ideally, these should be at room temperature, and you want to crack the eggs in a separate bowl. After you add the eggs, you want to make sure you stir the batter really, really well. This is one of the things that will help give you a nice crackly top. You won't be seeing that much of the brownie top, but we'll have little streaks of brownie or ripples of brownie running through the surface. So if you want those to be nice and shiny, stir really well. I'm just using my spatula, but a whisk would be even better. Get rid of that white. We can use it for something else later if we want. Next, add a teaspoon of vanilla extract and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And we'll stir these in as well. Finally, you need just 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Stir this in until the mixture is nice and smooth, and as I mentioned, you really can't overmix this brownie batter. If you'd like a nice little extra punch of chocolate, you can add 3/4 cup of chocolate chips into the batter here as well. Before we go any further, you're going to want to remove about 1/4 to 1/3 cup of the batter and just set this aside in a separate dish. We're not going to be baking this just yet. Now with the remaining batter, we are going to portion this into a 9-inch square pan. As you can see, I've lined mine with parchment paper. You can line yours with foil if you don't have parchment, and we'll just spread this evenly into the pan. Parchment can be a little bit wiggly, so I found it helps just to hold on to one corner while you're spreading that batter. This pan will go into the oven to bake for just 15 minutes. While that's baking, let's prepare our cheesecake topping. We're going to start with 2 softened bricks of cream cheese. Add 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, and I recommend using a stand mixer, or today I'm going to be using an electric hand mixer to cream everything together until it's smooth, creamy, and well combined. Next, we'll add 2 large eggs, and a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and once again stir everything together until it's well combined. You want this to be nice and smooth with no lumps remaining. By the time this is finished, your brownies should be just about finished from their first round in the oven, so let's go ahead and take a peek at these. I'm not sure if you can tell, but the edges are a little bit set. The center is still pretty jiggly. These are definitely not cooked all the way through yet, and that's exactly how it should be. What we'll do at this point is we're going to take our cheesecake batter and we'll carefully pour this over the brownie batter. You don't want to just drop it all at once right in the center, because since the brownie is still pretty raw, what you could end up with is a big crater and all of the batter gets pushed to the sides. So try to just dollop it on there a little bit. Be nice and even as you pour this over the brownies, and then use a spatula to evenly spread it over the brownies. All right, now grab that brownie batter that you had earlier, and it probably has stiffened up a little bit, so you're going to want to mix it with a spoon until it's nice and smooth. Now, as you can see, this is falling off of the spoon pretty easily. This will be nice and spreadable. If yours is not, you can pop it in the microwave for, I'd say probably 5 to 8 seconds max, because you want to be able to almost drizzle that over the cheesecake like I am doing right here. And I'm just doing this in lines with the extra batter. I'm just going to do a couple of dollops. All right, now the dulce de leche. You're going to need about 1/4 cup of dulce de leche, and I have a recipe on the blog to make this. So if you want to check that recipe out, that's great to have on hand at all times. And again, the same thing goes for the Dulce De Leche. If yours is not flowing off of the spoon nicely, pop it in the microwave for a couple of seconds. I'll do a couple of lines parallel to the brownie batter. Now use a knife to swirl the Dulce De Leche and the brownie batter into the cream cheese layer. Don't go too deep because remember you have those brownies on the bottom. You could end up making a mess. And I just go back and forth just like this. It makes really nice, pretty swirls. Okay, now remember this pan might still be a little bit hot, so use your oven mitts and we'll grab this and we'll take this back over to our 350 Fahrenheit preheated oven where it's going to need to bake for about 25 to 28 minutes. When it's finished, the edges will have slightly puffed. They may even be very lightly golden brown, but if you jiggle the pan, the cheesecake in the center should still be a little bit jiggly. Of course, this is cheesecake, so we're going to have some patience before we can enjoy this. I like to let this sit at room temperature for about an hour, and then I'll move it to the fridge where it will chill for at least 3 hours, preferably overnight. I do have a batch that I prepared yesterday, so let's go ahead and grab that and cut in. You can see right now why I use the parchment paper. It's so easy to just lift this out of the pan. All right, let's dig in. The brownie layer is a little bit firm, so that's the toughest part to cut through. And that is how you make Dulce De Leche cheesecake brownies. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you try this recipe out, please let me know what you think. I always love hearing from you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. You're gonna love this.